Cho rối vậy. Tao mày vô xong rồi nha. Anh chưa đâu. Cho nè bảo. Người Việt. Đây đi đâu kìa, mặt. Anh cái nào đi? Ý.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I'm your host, Matt Tardio. Today, war has erupted in between Cambodia and Thailand. Both sides are accusing each other of firing first up over on the lines, and what they're fighting about might actually surprise you. Some of you guys, it might not, depending on your understanding of like local culture and whatnot. I'll play one more video while we wait on everybody else to get in here. This is going to be Cambodian troops firing rockets over across the border. There has been multiple rocket barrages that have actually been reported going in between Cambodia and Thailand. Thailand's claiming like over a dozen killed, I think at this point, was the last update that I got. And I'll make sure I give you guys some more coming up here in just a minute. Now, in case any of you guys are wondering, Thailand is a U.S. ally. Let's go ahead and get that up front and out of the way. Thailand, 100% U.S. ally, and we do have a defense pact. And to inform everybody at home, there is right around, generally speaking, 100 troops that are deployed to Thailand at all times, including U.S. Army Special Forces and Green Berets from 1st Special Forces Group that are over there. Let me go ahead and give you guys a quick breakdown on kind of the area that we're looking at as we look in between these two countries. So up over here on the map, and maybe I'll just zoom way out because a lot of you guys didn't even know where this place is at. But here you've got the Middle East, then India, and you keep going. There you're going to have Burma, and then you go down and you have Thailand, Cambodia, and down into the south of it, you're going to have Malaysia down in there. Anyways, the fighting is all taking place in this area, reportedly right down here, and it's all surrounded. The fighting is like surrounding a temple, and this is like a decades-old deal that goes back quite a while. Well, over the last couple months, over inside Cambodia, Taiwan border, what they've been doing is the Taiwanese troops complained back in, I think it was May, that they ended up having a troop get their leg blown off by a landmine, a couple of like little skirmishes back and forth, like a couple rounds going back and forth. But today things kind of escalated and both sides started opening up on each other. After a brief firefight, Cambodia started shooting rockets into Thailand, like I said, killing at least over a dozen, and some of the damage, it looks like those numbers are going to be a heck of a lot higher than that. Thailand answered back by conducting an airstrike, and then both sides just opened up again just a minute ago with like MLRS systems, and they're also like fighting each other back and forth across the border. How do we blame this on the Jews? Fox McCloud, don't you worry. Somebody already went in my comment section over on X and blamed it on the Jews, so they got you covered. Free Thailand, says Fox McCloud. Robotine, Iron Dog. Yeah, I remember that. Poopy Situation says, sorry, missed my birthday. I appreciate your Poopy Situations. Thank you guys very much. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure that you guys are subscribed. Here is more fire going back and forth between the two with MLRS. This video is inside of Thailand. YouTube, that guy's just sleeping, all right? Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. All right. Another video of some more MLRS systems going off. And I'm pretty sure I got one more of those for you guys just to show you guys, yep, I sure as heck do, the volume of fire that is actually going back and forth across the border. Then I'm going to show you some of the destruction and stuff that's taking place over inside Thailand, then take you up over onto the front line in Cambodia. Cambodian troops have actually been posting a lot of videos of themselves just walking around and attacking Taiwanese forces. I'm sorry, Thailand, not Taiwan, Thailand. Holy cow, man. It's morning, man. My coffee is still kicking in. Question, do I think Vietnam will get involved and back Cambodia? That is a good question. As of right now, they do not have a mutual defense pact. Is it possible that they get involved? Maybe. But do they have a mutual defense pact? No, they don't. As a matter of fact, United States and America and Thailand have a mutual defense pact, but Cambodia currently doesn't have one with anybody, not even China. Now, China does have, I believe I saw like some factories or some crap like that they opened up over inside of Cambodia, but it's about 600 kilometers away from where the fighting's taking place. I'm sorry, not factories, naval port or some crap. So that they're really, really far away from the fighting. The chances of them getting hit with collateral damage very slim to none. And again, no mutual defense pact, but I did see that China has already come out calling for like ceasefire and cease in the hostilities and calling for diplomacy. So there's that. It doesn't look like China actually wants to get involved. And with Thailand being a U.S. ally, I got a feeling that Trump is going to basically put in a phone call and demand them to stop. I see this being a very short-term deal, but it has the potential to be long-term because rumors right now are flying that Cambodia plans on invading Thailand now. So that's happening. This is a video from a hospital over inside of Taiwan. I said Taiwan again. Thailand. Come on, Matt. You're better than that. Hospital in Thailand. Like, I understand that. Well, never mind. I'm just going to leave him alone. Waggles07 upgraded his membership and became an ultimate true supporter. Fox McCloud says, even better question, what does Tucker Carlson think and what's the population of Cambodia and do they have grocery carts? Those are all very valid questions. Fox McCloud. I really appreciate that. But again, he'll find some way to blame it on the Jews. It's Tucker. Tucker does what Tucker does. Royal Thai Army has launched Operation Yuda Boden, all right, which is a land and air offensive, all right, going up against Cambodia. They actually started conducting several airstrikes. I have a video of this airstrike, I do believe, coming up here in just a second. This got launched just across the border on the map where I showed you. Again, all of it surrounding that temple. And if we were to pull it up, you can see this road that kind of crosses the Thailand border going into Cambodia that leads up towards that temple. And reportedly, these airstrikes are taking place on Cambodian positions near the road, near the border. So if that does you any good, that's where that's taking place. So if we were to look at it allegedly and zoom in down up over here on the map, you guys can see where you've got this road. So those airstrikes are all being launched here in this general vicinity, allegedly, is where they're going down. No reports of them being conducted any further outside of that. However, if we do get them, believe me, I am going to let you know. Give me a second as I figure out where I'm at because I believe I lost my place. All right, let's go take a look inside Thailand at some of the destruction that has occurred because of the rocket launches. Be honest, I'm going to be really surprised based on some of this footage that we're seeing coming out of Thailand if the civilian casualty count isn't just a tad bit higher than what's being reported. They are saying dozens wounded. I did see that. But with the amount of rockets and stuff that's gone back and forth, at least it's been reported within the last hour, it would seem like it would be a heck of a lot higher than what's coming out. Again, all of those numbers still unconfirmed. You guys got to realize how early on in this fight it is.
บ้านโพนทองครับผมลูกปืนจากกัมพูชาตกลงจุดตกคืออยู่นี่ครับผมตกลงตกหลุมถือบ้านเลื่อนพี่น้องครับเสียหายครับผมบ้านข้างเครื่องครับผมนี่ครับพิธีลูกปืนลงไปนะครับลงไปลึกนะครับผมครับหลุมครับหลุมที่ลงนะครับผมนี่บ้านเลื่อนพี่น้องเสียหายเป็นหลังนะครับแต่ว่าบ่มีผู้ใดได้รับบาดเจ็บครับผมเพราะว่าเนื่องจากเพิ่นหนีออกไปกันหมดแหละครับผมยังแต่ท่านเป็นเจ้าของบ้านผู้นี้เนาะครับเนาะเจ้าของบ้าน
Yeah, somebody just said the Cambodia GDP is 150 billion and the Thailand GDP is 1.8 trillion. That's accurate. You know, you want to see something freaking. Let me see if I got it, just to give you an idea of how this is going to turn out. I'm pretty sure I ended up throwing it in here. Come on, where'd you go? I believe I have it. Man, there's no way I put it that far back. I've got a comparison between the two countries. Give me a sec. I'll just go grab it for you. Yeah, I mean, the Thailand military is just way, way bigger. I don't know how else to say that. Like, this is not going to turn out good if Cambodia keeps pressuring like that, unless they have somebody step in, like, I don't know, China, to kind of like back them up, because they are hurting. We're talking like vastly outnumbered with aircraft. Oh man, where did it go? Come on, where's my thing from the war comparison of the two? I've got it. Well, either way, yeah, aircraft, everything. I mean, Thailand's just got Cambodia just beat as far as equipment goes. But at the same time, you know, we can't really say that that's how it's going to turn out. I mean, I think we know it's going to turn out that way. Thailand's much different situation, but I want to remind you guys that, you know, Ukraine also had a much smaller military than Russia, and that's not going so hot for Russia. So we'll see how that turns out. Mary says, will the USA get involved, Matt? Mary, I highly doubt it, because I'm pretty sure the Trump administration is going to end up crushing this, just kind of like the little skirmishes that took place between India and Pakistan. But the difference here, I don't want to say this. Well, I mean, it's about the same, but it's, if you're going to compare this, I mean, the temple itself, like, both people hold it like very, very like deep into their beliefs from the background that I ended up doing on it. They both hold it very, very deep into their beliefs. So it's like almost like a religious deal that they're going back and forth, like over like this temple. And, you know, there's ICJ rulings on it that were like dozens of years ago that said that, you know, it's going to belong to one side versus the other, but they're all complaining, saying that, no, it's mine. And that's basically what's kind of sparking this entire thing. So who set fire to gunpowder first? That's a good question. That's a good question. It started with small arms fire over on the border. And then followed by rocket launches from Cambodia, then followed by airstrikes from Thailand, then followed by back and forth from everybody. Adam says that would have never happened if I was president. Right. Yeah, well, apparently he never warned anybody. Waggles, want to appreciate you for upgrading your Speak the Truth membership, sir. Thank you very much for becoming an ultimate true supporter. Yeah, 7-Eleven's not looking so good, and it looks like that vehicle got that guy that was sleeping out of there. Upward view of the temple, just for you guys. Allegedly, that is the temple. And all of its glory that everybody's fighting over. Now, notably, I want you guys to see kind of where this sits with all of this different terrain on the other side of it. All that terrain's going to come in kind of crucial here in just a minute when we start talking about some of the things that are going on. Because if Cambodia plans on invading Thailand, they face a no BS, like, uphill battle. Like, straight up uphill battle. Let me get this video up on the screen for you guys. Stab it.
cho rồi vậy to mày to rồi cho nè bảo người Việt
Yeah, Moxie letting us know that the temple technically belongs to Cambodia from a ruling from the ICJ years ago. And I think it was like back in the late 50s or 60s, the ICJ ended up stating that it belonged to Cambodia. But Thailand does attest that it's inside their territory. Now, they didn't necessarily rule on the temple, to be perfectly clear. They ruled on a portion of the land, and Thailand says that it doesn't fall on that portion of land. It falls on their portion of land. But the internationally recognized border definitely shows that it is inside of Cambodia. Just going to make that perfectly clear. So we get this up on the screen. This is what we're looking at as you go, and this is what Cambodia is facing should they choose to get off their butts and go and actually launch an attack into Thailand. Now, there's a big issue with this attack. They've got about 50 kilometers-ish, if I remember right, of open, well, not 50, but they've got a good amount of open terrain that they're going to have to cross and to get in there. Intel Schizo ended up putting this out. This isn't from Thailand itself. I believe this actually came from Malaysia. But he says that this terrain, like looking at analyzing the terrain in between the two countries, this is essentially what Cambodia would be up against fighting to go in, just to give you guys an idea. And again, Cambodia's got a much smaller military force. So if they actually go in and try to attack Thailand in that manner, they're literally going to be up in terrain like this, trying to fight their way up and get their butts into Thailand. So it's not going to work. Not to mention Thailand's got just a buttload more aircraft, military equipment, just everything. I mean, Cambodia's got essentially jack and diddly squat. Sean Hughes says, good morning from the free state of Florida. Looks like a case of FAFO for Cambodia. Well, Cambodia is actually, and you guys are about to see it here, they're in complete, like, don't really care mode. Here's another strike going on over inside Thailand, and then we should be moving into the Cambodian military videos. Yep, there's that one. And now we should be going. Oh, and I forgot, Cambodia is calling for a UN Emergency Security Council meeting. They're blaming all this on Taiwan, just to throw that out there. Here's Cambodia. So as you guys can see, they're pretty much hanging out in trench lines over on the Cambodian side, but you're going to see here in a minute as well that they're also doing some fighting up over inside of those trenches. They are trading rounds back and forth, RPGs, small arms, things of that nature. That's a heavy machine gun you can hear in the background. Yep, sure was. So they're duking it out up over on the border. Here's another good freaking clip for you guys. I mean, they are literally fighting sandbag, kind of trenched in positions and stuff that they have set up on the border. Now, what's really interesting about these trenches, I want you guys to look at this, is look at that dirt that's on the other side of those sandbags and look at how new those sandbags are. And this to me says that Cambodia actually started this crap. The ghost of Maglivka ends up coming in, becoming a true supporter. Thank you, sir. Some updates coming in from Ukraine as well. Yeah, so those are brand new sandbag positions. That's brand new dirt that's dug out, all of that. Those are brand new trenches that they have dug and put in fighting positions up over on the border. To me, it looks like Cambodia actually prepared for this thing before it ended up going off. And all these videos that they're putting out from their trench systems and stuff pretty much prove it, right? They set in defensive fighting positions and launch an attack. That's my opinion. Now in Cambodia's defense, because, you know, gotta say, in Cambodia's defense, it did appear as if troops from Thailand crossed the border at some point or came near the border earlier this year when that Thailand soldier ended up having his freaking leg blown off by a mine. They ended up accusing Cambodia of placing in brand new mines. Cambodia said, no, those are really, really old mines, and you just happen to be, you know, messing around, crossing border, blow your own dang leg off.
Ngày nay ngày tí mà phải buôn, mình thì anh về trái long ôn, sống bị để chun po tầm nét tầm mắt bán này.
Now, something that I am going to point out here is that these guys all have like Chinese equipment, military hardware, including, I don't know if you guys can see it in the back over here, this multiple round grenade launcher, right? That cylinder grenade launcher that he's holding over there in the back. All of their equipment definitely looks like it's coming out of China for obvious reasons. But at the same time, like, I'm trying to remember what these piece of crap radios are called. Is that a Baofeng? Are they using Baofengs, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody tell me. Like, that looks like a Baofeng radio to me. I could be wrong. And if that's the case, like, they're getting their dang, whatever. I mean, they're decent radios. You can put some crypto in it, but is it going to be that great? No. This is from inside of a T-55A during, you know, the recent exchange of gunfire.
Okay.
Morning 3 a.m. Forge. So yeah, they're definitely bringing out the big guns right now, and they're going back and forth. This is that airstrike I told you guys about on the Cambodian army positions that got launched by Thailand. Incock Faraday coming in, giving out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you, sir. So there's your airstrikes on those positions over inside of there. Now, I do want to say that some of you guys were laughing because I said T-55, and it is kind of funny. For those of you that don't know, maybe I should better explain this. This tank that they're inside is like post-World War II Soviet-era piece of crap freaking tank. Like, it's garbage. Like, absolute garbage. Tiller coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth membership. Sean Hughes says, Matt, what do you think China will get involved on Cambodia? Sean Hughes, no, I do not at this moment in time think China is getting involved in this conflict. China actually called for peace and a diplomatic resolution. I can go find the clip. I believe I have it somewhere, but I just get tired of listening to people speak other languages with you know, like English writing on the bottom. But yeah, no, they're calling for peace and diplomatic solutions. Cambodia has reached out to the UN, called for an emergency meeting because of the situation. But again, you know, as we look at these positions over on the Cambodia side, and it would definitely seem like the volume of fire coming from Cambodia and going into Thailand is much more. Like, there's a heck of a lot more fire going in one direction versus the other, and they have brand new sandbagged in positions, brand new trench systems. It almost looks like, to me, this was a staged attack by Cambodia. So time will tell what is going to end up happening here between these two countries. I got a feeling Trump is going to step in. Like I said, we have U.S. troops that are stationed over in Thailand right now, right around 100. They are an ally of ours, and we do have a defense pact with them. If Cambodia decides to invade Thailand, U.S. could potentially intervene because of our defense pact, right? Like, we swore that we would help to defend their border. So Cambodia, if they do try to invade, which allegedly they do have plans to do so, if they do, it's not going to turn out good for them at all. So I got a feeling, though, before it ends up reaching that level, because of U.S. involvement, that we're going to end up crushing it in one way, shape, or form. This likely is going to end up turning out kind of like the India-Pakistan situation where they trade back and forth for a couple days, and then it just kind of fizzles out because of international pressure. But there is a potential that both countries just don't listen and they go at it. Or there is potential, based on those trench lines that we saw over inside Cambodia, that they end up launching that attack up over into Thailand. If that's the case, you can bet your butt that the U.S. is going to keep its word. 3M Forge says, Matt, if gotta get a new address for you off the air, I have a few things to send you. 3M Forge, man, you're freaking Tristan Allen. HE6, Matt, did you hear Laos send troops to Russia? Yes, I did. I did hear about Laos sending troops up over into Russia, and I think I put about as much weight into that and those troops and what a difference they're going to make on the battlefield that I do with the North Korean troops and how well they fared over inside Kursk. And I'm going to be honest with you, going over into the front line like that, over in that trench system over inside of Ukraine, and I don't care like where you end up coming from. If you ended up taking a platoon of American soldiers and dumping them up over on the front line, or a company of American soldiers and putting them on the front line with the same support that Ukraine has, I don't think it would turn out very good for them. I mean, maybe they would do okay, maybe they wouldn't. But the fact is that having, if attacking anyways, right? If they're defending in position, I think they'll be just fine. But when it goes down to like the attacking and moving forward, the fact is that all of that combat experience that Ukraine has acquired over the years matters. Absolutely matters. So they can send as many troops that they want up over in there, and as long as they keep sending them, they're just going to end up getting flushed out. Tiller says, get a PO box so I can send you the dang speak the truth sign. Okay. I'll do it. I'll get a PO box, ladies and gentlemen. I swear, I'm going to get a PO box. It's actually on my list of things to do. I'm going to take care of it. I had some other personal stuff that's been keeping me really busy lately, but I'll make sure I get that. To bring you guys up to speed on Iran, which I know I ended up telling you guys that Iran's going to end up exploding here in a little bit, and it most certainly is in the near future if something doesn't come about, because the Iranian deputy foreign minister said that they're not going to resume peace talks with the United States of America unless we recognize Iran's nuclear rights. I'll say that again. Unless we recognize Iran's nuclear rights, they're not going to go for peace talks. Like I've been telling you guys since day one, Iran's never going to give up their enrichment program, ever. They're not. And so that's why I've been predicting this entire time that the U.S. is going to do something about it, or Israel is going to do something about it, that these strikes and everything are not over. I also tried to tell you guys about all of the different explosions and things that have been taking place. Today, a very huge one ended up coming out of Iran as well. I want you guys to take a look at this. Iran saying, well, I told you guys, it started off as kind of like a joke, that Iran was saying that they ended up having like gas line explosions and things like that earlier on in the month when, apartment buildings of like key officials were getting blown up. And now we have this. So it's kind of a problem that you have all this stuff exploding. Now, I told you guys that there is the possibility, like the revolution and or the insurrection and or the regime change, whatever you want to call it, taking place over inside of Iran is not off the table yet. Over the last 2 weeks, we ended up seeing a couple different drone manufacturing facilities, or drone plants, if you will, like undercover ones, allegedly by Mossad, that had been raided by the Iranians. They've been kicking out a bunch of Afghans. And then there is now reports that all of Iran, basically, or Tehran, is on lockdown because of riots / an attempted coup. I'm trying to think of the proper way to say this. But they ended up declaring martial law, and the civilians are rising up and shouting death to Khomeini. These things ended up taking place, and they have been deploying tear gas, trying to keep the crowds under control. So because of these recent incidences and everything that's going on, obviously the Middle East is still a little bit unstable. And we have this new war that's now erupted between Thailand and Cambodia, not to mention everything that's taking place in Ukraine and over inside of Israel. Syria is also starting to uptick as well, which is freaking scary. All right. I told you guys the other day that there was rumors, that Turkey was shipping in weapons down into Syria to support HTS and Jelani's men. Ended up seeing one shipment of trucks, and now I'm seeing a massive amount. And this is following after yesterday's reports that Jelani's government, if you will, all right, it's for those of you that don't know, he's a freaking terrorist. He used to, like, the guy that's running Syria now, he used to like be like a senior member of Al-Qaeda. He was friends with al-Baghdadi, the guy that started ISIS. He actually got asked to join ISIS. Dude, the guy's a freaking mess, right? And Marco Rubio ended up removing the FTO designation, or the Foreign Terrorist Organization designation, from him like last week or the week before. I don't know. Days are just bleeding together now. Either way, they have now reached out to Turkey, and it looks like Turkey's actually supplying them with even more equipment. Of course, that video doesn't want to play. All right. Why wouldn't it? Why would it not want to play for me? The freaking videos always do that crap to me. It was working like 2 seconds ago. Now it just stalled out. All right. Yep. It's still stalled out. So we'll go over to the next one. Here we go. There you go. There's all your freaking equipment that's allegedly being sent in by Turkey into Syria. Now, here's the problem. All right. Here's the problem. In addition to this, we ended up hearing an Israeli spokesperson yesterday say that they are going to defend the Druze. So if Jelani ended up reaching out to Turkey, now I have no idea if Turkey intends on putting boots on the ground for this fight in order to back up Jelani as well. I haven't seen any reports of that. But all of this equipment that's being sent to HTS to go slaughter and murder the Druze is flowing in like, I don't know, man. It's flowing into the freaking country. And the Druze are not backing down either. They're sitting there holding up. And there's still a lot of rhetoric going back and forth between the two groups. And if we have Turkey's munitions that are going to start getting used in a genocide, then we have an issue of a U.S. NATO ally that's actually, going, I mean, it's a freaking problem, right? It's a huge, huge, huge problem. Druze leader actually ended up coming out and making this statement today.
ألا تكتفوا بالمراقبة بل أن تكونوا جزءا من الحل لا شهودا على ولادة مأساة جديدة في منطقتنا. إن النتيجة التي نشهدها اليوم من دماء ودموع ونار تأكلنا جميعا ما هي إلا لتعنت الطرف الآخر وانفراده بقرار الطائفة ورفض الحوار واختيار منطق السلاح لتنفيذ أجندات خارجية كلنا نعلم هدفها. نحن لم نكن من أشعلها بل كنا وما زلنا من يحاول إطفاؤها. نقولها بوضوح. نحن مع سوريا إيمانا بوحدتها وبدورها. نحن مع الحل السياسي العادل لا الدموي. نحن مع أن يأخذ القانون مجراه وأن تحاسب كل يد امتدت على الأبرياء أيا كانت الجهة التي تنتمي إليها.
As you guys can see, yeah, it's still kind of an issue going on over there. And there is new airstrikes that are coming out of Syria as well on a major ammunition depot. Check this crap out. Believe I have another angle of that that's actually captured. The Syrian military is actually blaming that on Israel. And I say military in very, very loose terms. They're claiming that this airstrike was caused by Israel. To this point, Israel has not responded and claimed an attack on this. And this has all taken place over near Idlib inside of Syria. So what does that mean? Well, it appears to be, if that is true, and they did, and Israel did launch this airstrike, and they're not going to go up to it. Yeah, and I doubt they will, right? I think, did they even claim, they even come back and claim responsibility? I don't think they have yet for the airstrike on the consulate against the members of the IRGC. And yeah, no, I don't think they did. But either way, if they ended up launching this airstrike, they're obviously taking out munitions and supplies. And my assumption would be that Mossad has information that Syria is going, or HTS is going to continue to attack the Druze. And the problem is that it looks like they're getting outfitted with equipment from Turkey. Patrick Loud says, do you think Turkey will supply HTS with Typhoon jets they are acquiring from the UK? I highly, highly doubt that. I highly doubt it. I really, really doubt that. What I do think is that they're going to give them all those APCs, possibly some tanks, things of that nature. But I also know that Jelani's going to have plenty of them. Now, the problem is that the amount of equipment that we see pouring into Syria, I don't think you need all of that just to attack the Druze, right? Like, that's way too much for them just to do it. If Jelani really wanted it and he cut everybody loose, they'd be able to take it over. You know what you would need that equipment for, though? You'd need that equipment to attack Israel. And I'm not saying that lightly. I'm saying that based off statements from HTS and off of some of the Bedouin tribesmen in videos that we've seen, right? So if they are in fact getting all this military equipment, and that's what HTS has been saying, and that's what the Bedouins have been saying, there is a very real possibility that that equipment that's supplied by Turkey will be used to attack Israel. Israel did say that they're going to defend the Druze. So it is possible at this moment in time, while everything appears to be cooling off, that, HTS is essentially like upfitting themselves, getting ready for a major battle. Number one, taking out the Druze, and number two, trying to stop Israel from stopping them from killing all of the Druze. That would be my assumption at this point. Truthfully, I mean, it's an assumption. There's no better way to explain that, because there was APCs and things like that ended up making their way into Syria, supplied by Turkey, that we saw in like a graduation video or something like that ended up getting put out by HTS like a month or so ago. So Turkey had been supplying them with a little bit of equipment, but this seems like an absolute buttload that ended up coming in there. And then just because it's a good video and I really like it and it comes out of Syria, here's a Kurdish fighter on the front lines.
Oh shit. Fuck you!
Tell me you have worked with U.S. forces without telling me you have worked with U.S. forces. That was an incoming mortar round or artillery shell, very, very small. I think it's a mortar round. That ended up coming in and burning in right next to his position, and he just had a good little chuckle about it. Yeah, it's not an artillery shell. It's like a tiny little mortar round. You got a picture like these cell phone videos. I mean, that landed probably within about 50 meters of them, so not that big. I'm 15 minutes behind. Stop blaming Taiwan. Damn it. You're right. I'm sorry. It's Thailand, not Taiwan. It's Thailand. Those two forces are currently still duking it out and going at it. International community is undoubtedly going to respond to that. There is, and I didn't have time to look into this because of all of the background and stuff that I was doing up over inside of Thailand and freaking Cambodia on what was taking place over there. Reports of a new attack over south of Jerusalem ended up coming in. You can see security personnel right there that are rushing their way over there. Now, I did see, I think it was something like a ramming attack or something like that, but I ended up hearing that the suspects in that, likely coming from the West Bank, ended up getting attacked over inside the Gaza Strip. Hamas is still up to no good. Here is them launching some new mortar rounds at the IDF.
هذه عشانك بدك تنزع سلاحنا. الله اكبر ولله الحمد، الله اكبر ولله الحمد. وهي كمان وحده عشانك بدك تنزع سلاحنا نتنياهو.
You know, Juice Junkie, I see you down there in the chat. Even though you're new followers out here, I see you in the chat just to do this. Do a favor, give them a thumbs up on this page for the video. Let's go. We love you. New people also come Nanner Gang. Yeah, hey, new folks. If you're over here, you'll end up getting access to the Discord if you end up becoming true supporters. We have an amazing Discord community. Raised a lot of money this year, actually. Raised a buttload of money to help somebody get former U.S. Marine, not that there's ever a former Marine, but a former U.S. Marine. I have to make sure that's perfectly clear. That was over fighting inside of Ukraine that ended up getting killed. We were able to raise about 20 grand to get his family home. get his body home and buried over inside of Los Angeles. So we took care of that as well. You guys are just an absolute amazing community. I've seen you guys pour out support for each other over inside the Discord channel. I know you guys have done we just take care of each other. And that's probably one of my favorite things I love about this community. Kharkiv over inside of Ukraine ended up getting hit with several different glide bombs today. So, yep, good job to Russia sending in freaking glide bombs, smashing Kharkiv. Thank you so much, Russia, for taking care of that. Here's another video of one of the inbound munitions. Like, it's absolutely amazing to me. Reportedly, this just ended up slamming into, where's that fireball? There we go. Reportedly, this just ended up, like, these glide bombs ended up coming right around the, like, civilian structures over there and slamming into them. I haven't seen any reports out of Russia yet on what they claimed this was targeting, but I did hear multiple civilian casualties ended up coming out of this situation. Texas Actual says, I used to live 50 from this strike. If that's 50 meters, dude, that's insane. Texas, if you live 50 meters from that strike, that's absolutely insane. And I'm kind of glad you're out of there. Texas, I'll go to you then, and I guess because you likely still know some people over there so that we can hear something about it. Also, reports coming out of new strikes in Odessa as well.
Today, Odessa has suffered yet another terrible attack from Russia. Dozens of drones were launched against the city, and this time one of their targets, among others, is the famous market Privoz, which is the landmark of Odessa in the heart of the city. And so you can see it burning right behind me, and you cannot see it in the video, but a big cloud of smoke is spreading around the neighborhood. And people are gathering here, people who live here and who work here. They came here to check how their property is doing. So most of the shops in the area, as well as people's private stalls, were damaged, together with all the goods that they had. Today,
I mean, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, when we end up taking a look at what's going on around the world right now, we are definitely on the brink of something crazy that's happening. We've got wars that are popping off everywhere. We've had wars this year in between India and Pakistan. Obviously, everything that's taking place over inside the Middle East. The U.S. has struck Iran. Cambodia and Thailand are going at it. Ukraine is still freaking on fire with Russia. There's more troops that are being poured into the battle over there. And what's taking place in Gaza is far from over. And Iran is far from over. Currently over inside of Iran, if you guys missed that portion or that segment of the show earlier, it looks like there was some sort of a coup attempt or a protest that was taking place over inside of Tehran, where the IRGC had to come in and crack down on it. Right now, everything's on lockdown over inside of Iran. Martial law has been declared, and massive explosions have been taking place over the last several weeks over inside of Iran. Iran's claiming that they're gas leaks. Additionally, the Iranian foreign minister ended up coming out saying that, you know what, we're not going to give up our nuclear enrichment program or our uranium enrichment program. And so the peace talks essentially are off with the United States unless the United States bends a knee to the Ayatollah and says, okay, you can keep enriching uranium, which we won't. The Trump administration has been very, very clear about that. Also, what's taking place in between Thailand and Cambodia right now, well, Thailand is a U.S. ally. That's a bit of a problem, right? Because we do have U.S. troops that are stationed over inside of Thailand. And it looks like Cambodia actually has plans to invade Thailand. Just judging by the videos that are up on the screen, it definitely appears as if Cambodia plans on doing that. They said in brand new defensive fighting positions, and that's confirmed just via the video footage that the Cambodian troops ended up putting out today. So I would suspect that sometime throughout the day, make sure that you guys have your notifications turned on, because I got a feeling Cambodia is going to try to launch an attack on Thailand unless something different happens. Additionally, airstrike over inside of Syria targeting a major munition depot. Syrian military claims that it was Israel that ended up doing it, while Turkey is flooding in freaking APCs to help out the Giuliani regime. Maybe I'll just start calling it that, HTS, like freaking terror organization over inside of Syria. All of this crap is slowly starting to come to a head, and everything's about to pop off, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you have your notification bell turned on. I need to go take care of personal business this morning. So I want to thank every single one of you guys for coming in here. I really, really do. Oh, you know what I didn't do this morning? You know what? There's always time for that. I ended up messing it up yesterday, and I want to make sure I take care of it today. daily devotional. And I didn't prepare one because I forgot. So I'm just going to come over and I'm going to take a look and see which ones we have going on. This one for you guys. If you guys are not Christians, by all means, adios. Peace, love, happiness, God bless. If you guys are Christians, you want to stick around for the devotional, go ahead and do that. This devotional comes from Ephesians 15 through 21. It says, at the moment of salvation, we are permanently indwelled by the Holy Spirit. From then on, God's Spirit will never leave us or forsake us. That comes from Hebrews 13:5. But being filled with the Spirit, that is, being led by Him, requires something of us, submission. Unless we submit to the Lord's authority, we miss out on things He wants to accomplish and through us. We need His power in order to overcome sin, to become the people He designed us to be, and to complete the work He has called us to do. The filling of the Holy Spirit is His provision for this kind of supernatural living. The Lord has various ways of motivating us to desire His fullness above all else. Sometimes He plants within us deep longing to be closer to Him. Other times He leverages our failures and feelings of inadequacy that result from trying to live up to our own strength. God may even use the example of other believers to inspire us. The Holy Spirit promises to fill every believer who is willing to yield all aspects of life to Him. This isn't an instantaneous event, but a gradual removal of desire for self-rule. As the Heavenly Father reveals an area that you have kept under your own control, surrender it and let Him fill your heart. The reading that went along with it is, therefore, be careful how you walk, not as unwise men, but as wise. Make the most of your time because the days are evil. So then do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is, and do not get drunk with wine, for that is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody with your heart of the Lord, always giving thanks for all of the things in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ to God, even the Father, and the subject to one another in the fear of Christ. Lord, please help us here today to be thankful for everything that we are given, and even as we go through hard times, even as we face things in life that we may hate, that we may despise. Help us to grow closer to you and be thankful for being able to see another day on the planet Earth. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I will see you guys at a minimum later on tonight. At a minimum, I will see you guys later on tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make no mistake about it. I will be here. Make sure you guys are here as well. Don't you guys forget to turn on your notification bells or subscribe to the channel.